Hello, writers. It is Weird Titles Week, and I have to admit, anyone who's watching this who's not like one of us collab people, I totally convinced everyone to make this week this theme because I just wanted to share this thing that I wrote when I was bored waiting for prescriptions to be refilled. First, let's play. Will John finally answer the questionnaire that he was supposed to do in the first video? Drum roll, please. Nope. So without further ado, the man who couldn't stop peeing. It's actually super depressing, just saying. So I wake up one day and I'm pissing the bed. And honestly, it's freaking me out because, you know, I'm a grown man. I have control of these things. But I dart off to the bathroom, and after I'm over the toilet and all, I'm fine, you know? But I'm not, because it doesn't stop. I'm just standing there peeing. I try and stop the flow, you know, hold it in, pinch it off, and I can last maybe half a second before boom, here it goes again. So I switch to sitting down, and by now I know something must be wrong because I've been peeing for at least 5 minutes here, and I'm not feeling any sort of relief. My phone is all the way over by my bed though, so I'm sitting here peeing for what has to be like half an hour. I live alone. I have nothing else I can do. I gotta call into work. I gotta call the hospital. I gotta get some help. And finally I realized that what with the trail I left getting into the bathroom and the dirty sheets, everything is already at least partially soaked in urine anyway. So whatever, I guess I'll just risk it and call 911. They didn't believe me. The 911 person thought I was a prank caller because of course I sounded like a prank caller and 911 must get this crap all the time. Finally, on my 5th try, I get the same person and they ask why I keep doing this, and by now it isn't funny to say, so I'm practically crying, saying I can't stop peeing. The ambulance gets to my house, so I leave the toilet, which I flushed at least 50 times to answer the door. I don't want to even think about pulling my pants on over the stream, so I answer with my penis hanging out and still peeing. By now, it's sore. Not just the head, but the urethra and something deep inside my bladder, and I can't even imagine where the problem began. But I just can't stop peeing. Long story short, they stick some poor intern over me with a few bedpans and get me to the hospital, still with my pants around my legs. Everyone in the ambulance needs a shower by now, but really, all I can worry about is myself. I go straight through ER and they have me knocked out before I can even ask questions. I wake up and I feel strange and I realize there's finally no flow of warm liquid coming out of my penis. So obviously I'm happy until I look up and see that they loaded me with a catheter. There are like a dozen bags hooked up to it and a nurse working at replacing them one after another. Then they see I'm up and they make me drink a few really big containers of water because I've been peeing for hours now. And I do, but it pretty much makes me sick to drink so much water, so they say I can stop. No matter how much I'm peeing, it's like I still don't get any thirstier or feel dehydrated. After a couple days and several hundred bags of my pee, even though I'm eating and drinking normally, the doctors say they checked my liver and my bladder and everything and they can't find a single thing wrong with me. Besides that, my insurance won't pay for any more of this nonsense, and I'm needed at work, so I have to leave. They give me a few bags to hook up to the catheter and let me keep it after I shell out a few $100, but after that, I'm all on my own. I go to work, and they won't accommodate me, and I'm fired, and I can't sue for disability, because there's no such thing as a guy who can't stop peeing. I go to register unemployment, but I have to replace my catheter every 15 minutes or so, and they won't let me dump out urine inside the Secretary of State's office, so I can't do that. I tried to do it online, but I knew it wouldn't work because I had to put a reason I can't work on the form, and my condition doesn't exist. After a while, I just stopped drinking water. I stopped consuming any liquid for like 2 weeks. Even if I wasn't dumping out dozens of gallons of urine, I still would have been dehydrated, but it never happened. It was like it kept me hydrated even though I was being drained. By then, I'd been peeing for like 5 months, and pretty much all my friends had stopped talking to me, and even my parents couldn't really do anything because there wasn't enough room for me to live at home. I ran out of money. I couldn't pay for my house, and I couldn't sell it because it smelled like urine. I was evicted. I couldn't go to a homeless shelter because I had gallons of pee with me at all times, and nobody was comfortable with that. So I lived on the street, and I started begging so that I would have money for food, but nobody would give me anything because I was a gross hobo who couldn't stop peeing. My teeth fell out. My hair followed. I was barely eating anything, and I lost all my fat and muscle. Eventually, all I owned was one pair of clothes and my catheter bags, and I couldn't sell those. Then one day, I woke up, and the ground around me was dry. Purposely ambiguous endings, woo! Gonna actually make a minute vlog tomorrow, woo!